G'day everyone. I don't know what the audio is going to be like here because it's quite windy. I'm on the banks of Lake Hume. And the camera probably can't pick it up, but way over there in the background is the snow-capped mountain of Mount Bogong. Anyway, I haven't opened any mail for my mail time segment for a few months. That's because I haven't received any mail. And that's okay. I never ask for mail, but the mailbox remains open so that if people want to send mail, they can. And this month I've got 2 parcels. I'm going to open them both now, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of a forecast on what I think is going to be what the trout season might be like when it opens. Hey Robbie, you've got mail. You better check your mailbox. Yeah, thanks Robbie, I heard that. Post Office Box 4040, Wangaratta, Victoria 3677. Now I'll open these in the order in which they came, and this one came first. I say to people that on this channel I've got a cut-off of the 15th of the month, so if I get the mail after the 15th it'll go towards next month. This one here from Doug Petty arrived on about the 17th of the month, just after the cut-off last month, and I thought I'll hold it until next month in case something else turns up, which it did. So Doug, I apologise for the delay. Anyway, without any further ado, let's open Doug's mail. Now it's quite windy. I've got rocks on the back of my car here to use as paperweights on my mail so that when I open them, if there's any loose bits and pieces, the wind doesn't blow them away. Right, is there a letter in there? I think it's wrapped up on the cardboard here. I'm just checking because it's very embarrassing when it goes unnoticed. Doug is a very funny man, and he's also a regular on the Captain Frank 01 fishing channel from South Australia. Very funny guys, Frank and Doug. Punchmaster Floats. Hi Robbie, I haven't sent you any new floats for a while, so here's a couple that may interest you. I was walking my Scotty, Harry, around the soccer pitches a couple of weeks ago when I came across a bin chicken that had been killed by a fox. It was a smelly mess, but after a week I could see a few nice feathers that weren't mangled, so I grabbed a few so I could make some quill wagglers. I've called them the bin chicken collection. So he's found a dead bird, he's waited a couple of weeks, and then he's knocked the feathers off. They fish very well. In fact, I caught a huge near 10 kilogram carp last month on a similar float. If you haven't seen Captain Frank 01, only one fish, but what a fish, it's worth a look. Thanks Doug, I'll check it out. Fish them like a normal waggler. They don't need a lot of weight to cook. They don't need a lot of weight to cock them. I thought it said cook them. Fish them like a normal waggler. They don't need a lot of weight to cock them, which makes them very sensitive. The big bonus is there's life after death for a bin chicken, poor soul. All the best, and keep up the real fishing channel from Doug Petty. Thank you so much, Doug. Congratulations on your big carp, and even more congratulations, Doug, on the big cod that you caught. If you have a look at the YouTube channel, Captain Frank 01, and in one of his more recent videos, you'll see a photo of Doug on the thumbnail holding a huge big cod. I think it was 8 kilograms or something like that. Doug caught it in South Australia. It's a great video and it's a great fish, and it's Doug's first cod. Doug, your average Murray cod size is much bigger than mine. Let's have a look at these floats. I'll just put some rocks on that bit of paper. The quill waggler. Naturally, I'm going to sniff these. Oh, so I'm a bit slow. Quill. The quill is the part of a feather, so they are actually floats. Doug has made these floats out of the quill of a feather, out of the bone part that goes up the middle of a feather, and all the little bits branch off. So he's made floats out of feathers. Wow. And they go that way. Look, you may have seen me use the Punchmaster floats in some of my videos before. These are the same, except they're made out of feathers. They are so cool. I can't wait to try them. Somebody asked me only the other day, hey Robbie, when are you going to be fishing with floats again? I said, I'm not sure when, but it will be coming up soon because I love float fishing. I don't schedule when I don't say, okay, I look at my calendar. On October the 13th, I'm going float fishing. I have no roster. I have no schedule. I just wake up and see what the day's like, how much wind there is, where the fish are biting, what time of year it is, and I'll make my decision based on that. But one thing I can assure you is that as the weather warms up, I'm going to be doing more float fishing, and I can't wait to give these a try. Thank you so much, Doug, the quill float. Now, next on the list is from Aaron. And Aaron has a Facebook page called Aussie Rattlers. Check out Aussie Rattlers on Facebook. I know Aaron makes spinnerbait, so I'm guessing that's what's in here, but let's have a look. Right. There's a lot of vacuum sealed. Just make sure there's nothing in there. I reckon my worst mail time, my biggest mail time fail was when my water bottle ripped open. I had all my fan mail and a bottle of drinking water in like an esky. There was no ice in the esky. I was just using it to carry around in my old ute. And the water bottle broke and I drowned all the mail and all the colours on the pictures ran, and I was so embarrassed and saddened. But let's have a look. First of all, I've never in my life seen a shrink-wrapped spinnerbait. What a way to package a spin. That's actually very, very smart. I think there's two in there. There's two. I thought it was a quad spin. There's two-bladed spinnerbaits. Let's have a look at the letter. Hi Robbie, I love to watch your channel and have started to make handcrafted spinnerbaits and thought to share 2 of them for you to try out on and see how they go. From one of your fans, Aaron, aka Aussie Rattlers. Folks, check out Aussie Rattlers on Facebook. I'll put that one in my pocket. I want to open them, but I don't want to wreck the packaging. Kids, look the other way. Use a knife. Don't do that. That is a stupid thing to do. Bun them in. Smell new. I've got rocks on paper and rocks and all kinds of things here to stop things blowing away. Aaron, these look terrific. I will give these a crack when the cod season opens. You probably won't get to see me use them until December. The cod season's about to close. As I film this, there's about 2 weeks left of the cod season. Not even that, actually. It's only a bit over a week. But there's the fishing's very slow. I will be going out cod fishing, but it's unlikely that I'll use these. This time of year, for me, cod fishing in northeast Victorian rivers, it's a bit of a fight for survival. In other words, I just use what I know works best. It's not a time for experimenting, and even then the chances of catching something are pretty low. Just last night I went fishing with Sonny for 3 hours, cod fishing in Wangaratta. I didn't have a touch. Sonny had 1 boof and that was it. But anyway, check these out. These look really cool. They're twin blade. They've got stinger hooks, nice meaty soft plastics, and the thing I like best is that they've got eyelets up here for toe points. I'm not a big fan of the R-bends, probably because I don't use a leader and braided line doesn't tie very well onto R-bends, and neither does line clips. Whereas my style of fishing with these closed eyes, I can just clip my line clip on and they're hooked up. Thank you so much, Aaron. Remember, folks, Aussie Rattlers on Facebook. Give him a like. Go and have a look. He's making some really good quality lures. These look great, and I can't wait to give them a swim when the cod season opens in December. Trout opening 2025 is at our doorstep. Trout season's about to open here in Victoria. That's the first Saturday in September. Now, is it going to be a good season? I'm going to be a little bit speculative here. I'm going to give you a bit of a forecast, a bit of a speculation on what I think it's going to be like, just based on my years of fishing experience. A few years ago, we had 2 or 3 years of great trout fishing, the best we've had for decades. And at the same time, we had 2 or 3 really wet La Nina years with above average rainfall and widespread floods. Last year, we had a really dry year and we had really bad trout fishing. This year, we've had quite a dry year as well, which should lead to really bad trout fishing. I personally think that the fishing this year won't be great, but it will be better than last year. Now, this is just speculation. I could be wrong. We could all go out on opening and just catch heaps of trout, or there might be none. But just from my experience, my observation, and I've got 4 decades of trout fishing experience behind me, and I think this year will be okay, but it won't be a standout year. I think last year, fish numbers dropped. Some people blamed the drought, some blamed the cormorants, some said it was a natural cycle. I tend to think it's a bit of a natural cycle, and the cormorants and the drought. I think it's a bit of a combination. I think the cormorants and the drought form the natural cycle. But anyway, towards the end of last season, I did start to see quite a few small trout in the streams. If you followed my videos last year, you'll remember that they were really bad. There was a lot of fishless trips. A lot of my trout fishing adventures ended up in my monthly mashup with the words, "I caught nothing" after them. But towards the end of the season, my catch rate increased. I started catching a lot more trout. I was getting rainbows sort of around the 20 centimetres or a bit under, and browns a little bit smaller than that. Hopefully those fish have grown substantially during the winter. We've had a drier winter than normal, but it hasn't been a dry winter. We've had rain. We have had some good rain events. We even had a minor flooding event at one stage. So there has been fresh water flowing down through the streams, and there would have been worms and stuff washing in. The fish would have been eating, and we should have seen some decent growth rates. And I'm thinking that a lot of those really small trout last season will be bigger this season. My forecast, and it's only a forecast, I could be wrong, and it's pretty much based for northeast Victoria because that's where I fish, but my forecast is that this season that we're heading into will be better than last season, but it won't be outstanding, and a lot of it will be governed by how much rain we get between now and Christmas. How much spring rain we get. If we get a lot of good rain in the spring, it'll lead to better fishing. If we get a dry spring heading into summer, we're probably going to have a really tough summer. But as the season opens at the start of it's just like September, October, and through the spring months, I'm expecting to see some pretty good fishing, a bit of an improvement on last year, but not record breaking. That's just my forecast. Aaron and Doug, thank you so much for the mail. You guys are legends, and thank you all so much for watching this video. And I haven't even got a fishing rod with me. I'm up here shopping.